morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Rachit Gimre. The top stories first. Provincial Home Minister called to hand over police organization to the provinces. The minister issued Janakpur declaration in line with the Police Adjustment Act. Finance Secretary under the scrutiny for his role in fixing tax rates. The Secretary has been accused of colluding with outgoing Finance Minister. Boris Johnson steps down as UK's Prime Minister. Johnson to stay as caretaker PM until his replacement is chosen. And NRT suffers another blow in pre-season tour. The Nepali side loses 5-2 against third-tier club of Thailand. And now the news in detail. Members of Parliament have drawn the attention of the government regarding contemporary political issues ranging from disaster management to lack of fertilizers and the citizenship bill. They accuse the government of ignoring the issues related to the public welfare. Speaking at the 0 hour of the House of Representatives meeting yesterday, majority of lawmakers drew the attention of the government towards the matter related to public concern. The MPs urged the government to take proper measures for the disaster management. Lawmakers of the ruling Nepali Congress Dila Sangraula expressed anger over the government's failure to supply chemical fertilizers to the farmers during the peak of planting season. Sangraula also demanded the government to inform the parliament when it will make the fertilizers available to the farmers. Main opposition CPN-UML lawmaker Dal Bahadur Rana urged the government to operate safe transportation service along the Tansen-Butwal road section, which is mostly obstructed by the landslide during the monsoon season. Leader of the Loktantrik Samajwadi Party Dil Kumari said it was unfortunate that the children of Nepali citizens were still deprived of citizenship certificate in the country. Meanwhile, Nepal Workers and Peasants Party's Prem Suwal demanded scrapping the budget presented by Janardhan Sharma, who resigned from the post of Finance Minister following a controversy. The Home Ministers of 6 provinces of the country have demanded the central government to transfer the police service to the provinces within mid-July on the basis of the Police Adjustment Act and the Police Coordination Act. A report. The Home Minister of 6 provinces made such demand through the Janakpur Dham Declaration issued at the end of the program on exchange of experiences on law and order and disaster management by the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication of Madhya Province. Based on the Police Adjustment Act and Police Coordination Act, the federal government should adjust the police organization and hand it over to the provincial government by mid-July. The declaration also suggests that the District Administration Office and Chief District Officers should come under the responsibility of the provincial government. Similarly, the provincial government should be empowered to make the work related to disaster management more effective. Demands have been made in declaration that all the government prosecutors officials in the provinces should be brought under the Chief Attorney of the province and necessary legal arrangements should be made for the delegation the power of the prosecution to the Chief Attorney. The declaration has been signed by Minister for Internal Affairs and Law of Province 1 Kedar Karki, Minister for Internal Affairs and Law of Bagmati Krishna Prasad Sharma Khanal, Minister of Internal Affairs of Gandaki Province Dobate Vishwakarma, Minister of Internal Affairs and Communication of Lumbini Tilak Sharma, and Minister for Internal Affairs and Law of Sudur Paschim Dr. Rana Bahadur Rawal. The Home Minister of 6 provinces made such demand through the Janakpur Dham Declaration issued at the Supreme Court has issued an interlocutory order asking the government to give continuity to Yuvraj Adhikari as the Executive Chairperson of Nepal Airlines Corporation. Adhikari was appointed for a 4-year term by the government, so his term needs to be enforced, the Supreme Court said. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court also prohibited current General Manager at Nepal Airlines Corporation, Dipuraj Jwarsan, from working. Adhikari was appointed by the government on October 28, 2021. Petition Adhikari's appointment letter had explicitly mentioned that he was appointed for 4 year term, but wrong provision of NAC Act 2019 was invoked by the government to sack him. Section 20 of the NAC Act 2019 does not allow the government to suspend and sack the executive chairperson of the NAC, argued the SC. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with the other national news. The country on Thursday recorded 78 new cases of COVID-19 with no infected related death. The caseload were registered from a total of 3,515 tests, according to the Ministry of Health and Population. On July 6, 113 new cases were reported in the country. So far, 976,598 people have recovered from the deadly virus, with 23 in the past 24 hours. The recovery rate stands at 98.7%. The number of active cases currently stands at 508 across the country. At present, 501 infected people are in home isolation and 7 in institutional isolation. Similarly, 7 have been admitted into the intensive care unit. Minister for Labour, Employment and Social Security, Sher Bahadur Kunwar, has said that coverage of social security would be expanded. A report. Speaking at a program organized by Tarai Development and Communication Center yesterday, Labour Minister Sher Bahadur Kunwar mentioned that Nepalis in informal, self-employed and foreign employment sector would be included in social security coverage. Only the workers of formal sectors are currently covered by the Social Security Fund. A total of 344,248 contributors and 17,156 employers are associated with the fund so far. The fund has been making work procedure in order to bring the workers of formal and informal sectors under the coverage of the fund from the upcoming fiscal year. He further said the facilities provided by the fund would be increased. The fund has now been providing financial support to contributors under 4 types of scheme: accidental and disability protection scheme, medical and safe maternity scheme, dependent protection scheme and pension scheme. Similarly, the secretary at the Labour Ministry, Ek Narayan Aryal, said that workers who are in overseas employment would be associated with the fund, and the fund would provide concessional loan in order to make the youth returning home from overseas employment as an entrepreneur. The fund would provide loan on different topics to contributors from August 17. A total of rupees 19.62 billion has been deposited in the fund so far. Executive Director of the fund, Kapil Mani Gewali, shared that the fund has forwarded short-term, mid-term and long-term plans to reduce possible risks that might occur in workers' life. Time for a short commercial break. And now the news from economic front. The activities of Finance Secretary Madhu Kumar Morasini is under scrutiny following the resignation of the Janardhan Sharma from the post of Finance Minister. The sudden return of the Finance Secretary Morasini, who was on an undefined leave before the resignation of the Finance Minister on Wednesday, has raised suspicion about his role. A report. Secretary at Ministry of Finance Madhu Kumar Morasini is also under suspicion, along with the outgoing Finance Minister, on the charge of manipulating the tax rate while preparing the budget for the fiscal year 2022 and 23. However, Morasini had been claiming that there was nothing wrong with the budget process, thereby giving moral support to Sharma. But on Wednesday, the scenario suddenly changed after learning that Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma was to resign from the post. On Wednesday, due to the pressure from the opposition parties, Finance Secretary Madhu Kumar Morasini took an indefinite leave, saying that his wife suddenly fell ill and would not return to the ministry until the Finance Ministry resigns. After that, Finance Secretary Madhu Kumar Morasini's mobile phone was switched off till Thursday morning, and it was not decided whether he would return to work or not. Considering the workload, Joint Secretary Bhupal Baral was given the responsibility of acting secretary. As the news of Finance Minister Sharma's resignation broke, Finance Secretary Marasini returned back to work on Thursday afternoon. It has been alleged that the two secretaries have been playing the role of assistants in the budget prepared by the Sharma. An 11-member parliamentary probe committee has been formed to investigate the allegation against the finance minister, but at the same time, the parliament is silent on taking action against the two secretaries for colluding with the finance minister. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. New Road team suffered another defeat in a friendly match in Thailand during their pre-seasonal tour. NRT were defeated 5-2 by Thailand's third-tier club Kasim Bandit University FC on Thursday. Sanjok Rai and Stefan Winung were on target for NRT. At one point of the match, the game was 2-2, but NRT conceded 3 more goals for the wide margin loss. NRT took the lead with a goal from Rai in 23rd minute. However, NRT could not maintain their lead and ultimately lost the match. The Thai club hit back an equalizer in 32nd minute and then took the lead in 47th minute. However, Stefan made the score 2-2 a minute later, but the Thai club added 3 more goals in the 64th minute, 81st minute and an injury time goal to seal the match. NRT will next face Chonburi FC on July 10 and Thonburi FC on July 13 in friendly match in Thailand. Following the 2 matches, NRT will return home. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Lawmakers draw government's attention toward contemporary issues. Lack of fertilizer and withdrawal of citizenship bill top the agenda of Parliament. Provincial Home Minister called to hand over police organization to provinces. The ministers issued Janakpur Declaration in line with Police Adjustment Act. Finance Secretary under scrutiny for his role in fixing tax rate. The Secretary has been accused of colluding with outgoing Finance Minister. Boris Johnson steps down as UK's Prime Minister. Johnson to stay as caretaker PM until his replacement is chosen. And NRT suffers another blow in pre-seasonal tour. The Nepali side loses 5-2 against third-tier club of Thailand. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.